Hi friends, Right Careers welcomes you to another brand new video for this week. This is Sudarshan, your career coach. Before we get on to this week's topic, the customary thing, in case you have subscribed to my YouTube channel, thank you so much, and in case you haven't, do click on the subscription button and also bell button for instant notifications of all parenting and career related videos on a regular basis. Moving on, we all live in this earth right now. Earth is 4.56 billion years old, and since time immemorial, we all know that human beings, that is the Homo sapiens, or we have been originated, like we evolved from apes, right? Monkeys or apes. Now, before this, we speak languages. Today, we speak languages. I speak in English. Now, before languages, if you ask me, the communication pattern between this Homo sapiens, between the human beings, were through signs and symbols. Now, currently, cut across, come to today. Currently, we have 210 countries in the world speaking thousands and thousands of languages, and numerous cultures that exist in this world. Now, in case you have questions like, what would have led people to follow different culture, to follow different religion, to speak different languages, to live in different geography, and how did this happen? How did this evolution from ape to human beings happen? If you have such questions, don't worry, because you're already an anthropologist in making. And that's exactly the topic for this week. The topic that we have taken is careers in anthropology. Now, before we move on to what are the various career options in anthropology, we need to know what anthropology is. Now, dwelled by our past, by humans' past, anthropologists are someone who study human cultures, religions, customs, beliefs, practice, and even genetics. So, this is what an anthropologist does. In short, it's basically study of us. It's basically study of human beings and how human beings used to connect with the world, how we used to communicate with the world is exactly what an anthropologist does. Now, anthropology is a very, very, very broad subject. It is not a short subject, it's a broad subject, and it covers 360 degrees of human beings. All facets of human beings is covered in anthropology. Now, it has numerous specializations, like archaeology is a specialization, linguistic anthropology is a specialization, cultural anthropology. So, it has numerous specializations which we will see now. We shall see one by one, and then we will see about what are the pros and cons and things like that. So, that's the sequence of this video. The first type of anthropology that I can think of is definitely archaeology. Now, archaeology is a discipline that deals with a study of earlier human civilization, the old human civilizations and societies based on the physical remains. Now, the study of humans, the humans we lived, is based on our past and the objects that they have left, whatever that they have left, our forefathers, whatever they have left, in this world. Based on that leftover, you study something, and that's called archaeology. So, it's a separate topic by itself. I have to speak about archaeology as a career differently in some other video, which we will do later. So, archaeology again is a broader subject, but this comes broadly under anthropology. Some of the domain specialization under archaeology includes history, maritime, urban archaeology, museology, epigraphy, etc. So, all these subjects come under archaeology, not under anthropology, but under archaeology itself. Now, for now, all you need to know is archaeology is a study of human civilization by investigating facts from the previous civilizations, from the civilizations that existed before. A classic example and a contemporary example that I can think of is the current investigation going on at Kizhadi in Tamil Nadu, where today, if you follow any news, a lot of new things that we get from our forefathers or from our earlier civilizations who lived in Kizhadi. So, Kizhadi is Tamil Nadu's, or rather India's pride, we should say, and this is nothing but the study of archaeology broadly under anthropology. So, that's the first type of anthropology. The second type of anthropology that I can think of is linguistic anthropology. Now, what is linguistic? Languages. So, this is basically study of how languages have influenced our lives. So, study of origination of languages is called linguistic archaeology. Now, I told you much before in the video that Before the languages were started to, come to the system, we used to communicate via symbols, we used to communicate via signs. Now, this linguistic anthropologists study as to how these languages were born, how these languages were created, and how it evolved today. Now, their focus is on how words were adopted, how the sentences or the words that we make, how it is adopted from a language, how dialects came into effect, and things like that. So, this is what linguistic anthropologists do. The third type of anthropologists that we can think of are cultural anthropologists. Now, this domain, the cultural anthropologist, deals with various cultures among human beings by focusing on human culture, by focusing on societies, practice, and human development. So, this includes study of races, gender, belief system, practices, kinship, and various other cultural things associated with human beings. So, that's exactly what cultural anthropologists do. The next type of anthropologist that I can think of is definitely from the science perspective as a biological anthropology. Now, I told you the name itself suggests it's a science-based anthropology. This is connected with biological and behavioral aspects of human beings. Now, they look at evolution of humans, like how we came from ape to human beings. They deal with how humans dealt with various environmental issues, right from natural calamities, several natural calamities that our civilization and our forefathers would have faced. So, these people, biological anthropologists, study about how we dealt with calamities over a period of time. For example, last 2 years we are dealing with a calamity called COVID. So, maybe 100 years, 200 years from now, the then biological anthropologists will study about us as to how we overcame COVID. So, that's an example. So, a lot of things, rabies, quite a lot of things. They read about, study about wars, floods and things like that. So, that's what biological anthropologists do. Now, some of the other subjects, besides these four, the cultural anthropologists, biological anthropologists, linguistic anthropology, archaeologists, besides these four, some of the other subjects that you would be studying if you are planning to pursue a career in anthropology, that includes forensic anthropology, tribal culture, you study about evolution of tribes in India, neuroanthropology, fashion anthropology, demography anthropology, so on and so forth. So, these are some of the subjects. Now that you know what an anthropologist does, what is anthropology, what are the types of anthropology, and what subjects you will study if you pursue this career, you also need to know how do you become an anthropologist. Very simple, you can choose both the groups after your 10th standard. You can either choose science group or you can choose commerce group, but I strongly recommend to choose physics, chemistry, biology for two reasons. One, most of the colleges in India will offer you BSc in anthropology. So, it's natural that once you finish your biology, you take BSc in anthropology, and then when you study anthropology, you will come across subjects like genetics, you will come across subjects like bone chemistry, which you can relate very much with science subjects. However, these are some of the bone chemistry or genetics you would have already studied, in 9th or 10th, so it doesn't matter. In case you haven't taken science group, you can still become an anthropologist by studying the other facet of anthropology, I would say. There are a lot of institutes that will offer you BA in anthropology for non-science students, where you can study about, the other side I told you, it's about the human behavior, culture, languages. So, these will form the core of, anthropology. So, many liberal arts colleges allow both students, both science stream students and commerce or humanities students to come and pursue anthropology. Some of the famous colleges where you can study, most of the public universities in your respective state will offer. Delhi University, Madras University, I know offers postgraduate program. Most of the liberal arts colleges will offer BSc or BA in anthropology. Hindu College in Delhi, I know, offers. Punjab University offers. So, many age-old traditional colleges will offer you such programs, especially government and government-affiliated institutes will offer this program. Now that you have, where to study, you also need to know what are the career prospects that exist in anthropology space. So, once you finish, a bachelor's, master's, and maybe a PhD also, you can become an academician. That's the first, career opportunity that you can think of. You can work for market research companies. There are a lot of market research companies which deploy anthropologists to find the human behavior pattern also. It closely works with organization behavior as well. And then you can work for art galleries, you can work for museums, you can work for NGOs. NGOs specifically, for tribal development. Some of the NGOs focus a lot on tribe development. I told you there is a subject called tribal, anthropology. You can work for NGOs, you can also work for police department. Yes, forensic anthropology or criminal anthropology, where you can work as anthropologists, work closely with police department and do research on the remains of whatever crime that has happened. You can also work for bodies like UNESCO, UN, etc. Now, as always in our segment, the pros and cons, you contribute to the culture, you contribute to the rich history of India and the world, and let people know that you have found a lot of things well to the past. So these are some of the great things that you can feel relish and relinquish, as you say. It's also a unique profession, it's a rare profession, it's not a common profession, and you also get to work with good companies, respected companies. These are some of the pros. As always, couple of cons I can think of. The pay scales, it has got no comparison between a BTech and an anthropologist. So definitely the pay scale will start slow, but it's more passion related. Number two, anthropology does not guarantee you a job like the way some other career oriented courses or offer. So that is again something which you have to look into it. But having said that, if you are fascinated by various culture, various society, various themes, if you possess good language skills, appetite for research, and willing to travel, you can definitely consider anthropology as a career, because the world, I always keep on telling, the earth needs as many professionals. You can't have only engineers, you can't have only medicines, you also need professionals like anthropologists to have a balanced world. And that's all I have for this week. In case you would want to know more about how to make a career in anthropology, you can always ping me. All the credentials are beneath this video. And until next week with another brand new video, see you all. Have a safe week. Thank you.